I'm Steven, and I've failed more than anybody you know. I have a son with Down syndrome. I have a son with autism. At 33, I became the vice president for a billion-dollar company. I made a lot of money. But at the height of my career, I became a full-blown meth addict. I lost everything. I'm homeless on the streets right now, but determined to rebuild. All I want to do is use my life to help others. This is the greatest success story of all time unfolding right here.
So here's the aha thing that I realized earlier this week. And I haven't made a video, it's been a few days, because I was concerned that I might be wrong. But what's happened the last couple of days, I felt so good. I felt so free. And it's made more sense now than ever that I have to share it. I have to share it. So we've talked about my dramatic fall.
Kids, I've kind of realized that I haven't given you much information on my fall and how much I've lost. I don't know if you noticed, but at the beginning of the video, that was me and Marcus Allen. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to take you through a tour of my house, my tour bus, all the things I used to do for fun. It's going to be interesting. So stick around all the way to the end. You're not going to want to miss it, I promise.
I had everything that I really ever wanted except for happiness and joy. And I could never find what I was looking for. And I have this major crisis, midlife crisis with purpose. What's my purpose? What am I doing? This is not, I'm not where I should be. This is not right. And so I crumbled. My whole life crumbled. And ever since I've been looking back, trying to figure out, why did I do drugs? Why did I crash so hard? And I found this one aha moment was really groundbreaking. And it happened like 3 days ago when I was praying in the morning. I don't want to make it sound like super spiritual or anything, but you know, I was praying and I just got this urge to like God speaking to me saying, why don't you just ask me for the desires of your heart? Like, why don't you just ask me for them? And I'm like, well, because that's not very humble of me to ask for the desires of my heart, because I have some pretty wild desires. And what I realized is my whole life, ever since I was little, I would be, you know, this is only going to be relatable to somebody who grew up in a Christian home and has struggled in their life. And this is one of those things that was definitely one of the major cracks in my foundation that went all the way through my castle that I built, and it destroyed it. It crumbled everything. And that was that I never asked God for the desires of my heart. I had this fake humility, a total phony humility. It's like, no, I'm not going to ask God for these things because it's selfish. These are selfish things. I can't do that. It's not proper. And somewhere along the way, I got this idea that you just don't ask God for things, and you've got to get your heart right, and don't ask for too much, and be humble. And that's totally wrong, because it just dawned on me what I've been doing. This is me. I would ask God for things that I thought were right. And I asked God for a lot less than I should have from the get-go, my entire life. And what happens is the desires of my heart didn't go away. I just took them and I put them over here. And I took the things that I asked God and I put them over here. And after I got success in work, I got a family, a house, and things start getting comfortable, then what happens is you switch gears and you're like, well, now I'm going to put in extra work and I'm going to put in my skill that I've attained to, and I'm going to start doing all this extra stuff, and I'm going to start working on getting this stuff over here. And then you spend years, I spent years trying to get these things. A huge house, motorcycles, pool, a freaking $1 million+ coach conversion, custom. I started accumulating all these toys. And then what happens was it was like it created a separation between me and God. So instead of asking from God originally for the desires of my heart, which would have created a huge sense of thankfulness when I got them and gratitude, and it would have encouraged me, and I would have wanted to just, reciprocate. It would have been a huge difference. But what happened instead is I didn't ask for God these things, and then I worked on them myself. But we all know all good things come from God. And I was very confused on that. And I think it takes some people a lifetime to figure out what that really means. But all good things can come from God. But me, I had them in 2 buckets. And so if I was ever going to go and go repent and go live my life for God, like I knew that I should, and it was just killing me inside because I wasn't. And I wasn't because I thought all this other stuff would go away if I did. And I was right. But that arguably was my fault. And I just self-destructed. But there's a lot of things that I think could have happened to me. But this is one thing that is very foundational, that was not a big change. Like the heart posture is this different. It's basically the same thing, but what happens and how you think about it is completely different. So instead of being grateful for all of these things that I got, like, oh my gosh, I'm blessed with God, instead I was like, oh no, I earned these all myself. What? Like, I don't want to go back to God. He's going to take these things away, and I'm going to lose them. And it gives Satan a foothold, and it creates distance between you and God. And so this time, what I ended up doing is I just went and said, I gave him the desires of my heart, like these outrageous desires that are in my heart, but they're there. There's nothing I can do about it. Like, I want to be as influential as the President of the United States. I want to have that much influence. I don't know. I want to have a nice house. I want to have as many toys as I want. I want whatever toy. Like, I just asked God for these things. And then after I was done asking him for these big, audacious things, I said, now forgive me for anything that is improper, and help change my heart. And that's how I left it. And I feel phenomenal. And it's a total perspective shift. It's a total perspective shift that changed everything. And so that was a really big deal. That was a really big deal. And I'm really glad that I did. I feel so free right now. I can't even tell you. I don't know if that made sense. And it's not going to make sense to probably a lot of people, but for people like me who think like I do, I have a feeling that it's going to resonate with quite a few people. And it's so easy to fix. Just ask God for the desires of your heart. Then ask him to change it if they're improper. And then what I've noticed over the last few days is I've noticed that I don't care about these things as much as I used to, because what I really want is to be loved, and I really want to know that I matter. And when you start living the life that God told us to live, and I think of 1 John 3:5, that to love God means to keep his commandments, and that they will not be burdensome. That is a new concept to me. And wow. Do I have a different perspective on that right now? Because I used to see sin as something that I wasn't supposed to do, therefore I wanted to do it all the time. And now the perspective has changed. It's God does not want me to sin because it gets me out of his will for my life, and it sets up a barrier between him, and it gets me to a place where I don't want to be. So not sinning is actually in my best interest. And that is a game changer. That changes everything. Changes everything. And it's incredibly freeing, and I feel great. So let's see if I can work on getting a place to live. We'll see what happens next. But hopefully that made sense. I just want to share these things to for people to listen to. You don't have to agree. I'm just a guy who has struggled a lot with life, and I've thought through a lot of things, and I've fallen pretty hard. And I think that it will be beneficial, and I think it will be incredibly interesting and entertaining to watch me fumble through this next season of my life. So I hope that you stick around and enjoy.
All right, buckle up. We're going to go through this really fast. I'm just going to narrate this. I'm not putting music to it. We're just going to do one take. This is my house. Just thought it was fun to show some pictures of what it was like. It was a pretty cool place. I lost it all. Had 2 laundry rooms. An awesome playroom with a slide, trap door. I don't know if you can see it there. Had a rock wall to the top. Awesome home automation system. Movie room. Awesome backyard, pool, swinging bed. This is my motorcycle. This is a machine that I made from scratch. You got to check this out. Like, look at this. I made the computer controllers. I built this entire machine. And what it does is it takes drawings right here from CAD drawings on your computer, and it can manufacture whatever you want to manufacture. Look at that. You can see it all running. It's all computer controlled. It's all computer controlled. Built this. I put it all together. There's like 3 different software programs that run it. It's incredibly complex. Look at this. Literally making to the 1,000th of an inch with accuracy the exact parts that I designed on the computer. This is just stuff I do for fun. That's the end result right there. They were parts from my motorcycle. That's my motorcycle.
I don't know. This is calling my name, won't you?
This is my tour bus. Well, bus conversion. Look at that. Automatic doors.
Oh yeah.
This is fun stuff.
Look at how ridiculous this is.
Had a jacuzzi tub inside.
Jacuzzi bath.
It was pretty cool. I missed my car, had a trailer, like went around and I was renovating this thing. Look, it's like a mobile car wash. I could park in any parking lot and literally pressure wash the car and the bus without being plugged into anything. This thing was 50,000 pounds. It's almost 60,000 pounds with my car. And it was freaking awesome. This thing had everything. Just some pictures of it. I renovated the whole inside. I spent so much money. It cost $2,000 to fill it up with gas. My card ran out at $990 right there. Look at that. Quarter of a tank, 90 gallons. Had a $5,000 brand new refrigerator inside. Just a picture of renovating it. Had a 21,000 watt diesel generator. That's a John Deere tractor motor. 21,000 watts. More batteries than a Tesla Powerwall. An outdoor sink. That's outdoors. I mean, dude, this thing was ridiculous. The doors all open like Star Trek.
Dude.
It was
dude.
a lot of fun.
How
It was a lot of fun. This is the video I just took really quick, like a long time ago when I first got it. And I spent about a year renovating it. I went through every system. I got to know that thing intimately in every little detail about how it was built and how it worked. It was a real nightmare to learn all that stuff. But this thing was badass. This was me beating a Tesla semi-truck. But all good things come to an end. I'll have to make a video on explaining more, but this is what I was left with.
It's hard to really gauge.
It was
Show how
incredible.
just how bad this looks.
I was driving it and
on video.
I didn't have a single scratch, even though I was pinned in. Totally pinned. Look at the wheel and the seat. I couldn't even get out. I was stuck. But I didn't have a scratch on my body. So subscribe so that you don't lose me forever and never see this again, because I'll make a video that goes into this in quite a bit more detail. It's quite miraculous that no one was injured in this accident.
Broke right there. This is where my foot pedals are right here. My foot pedals are right here. That's the brake pedal that's peeled back. And my feet are right inside this little thing that got crushed.
What's crazy is that crash happened at 5:30 in the morning. I was barely wearing any clothes. I didn't even have shoes on. And I didn't get a single scratch on my body. I got a bruised knee, but
right there.
that's the only thing that happened.
It's a little, not even hard to...
So thanks for hanging in and watching this. I just wanted to show this because I thought it was interesting, and I think it makes it a little bit more interesting knowing who I am and the kind of stuff I was into, because now that I've lost everything, I don't have resources, but
straight here.
I'm pretty sure that I'll get them back, and it'll be interesting. I mean, I can't wait to find out what the next season of life will look like, because I'm definitely going to learn from this and move forward. And I thank God that I have the opportunity to, because this should have been death to me. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next video.
This was the entrance. The door was right here. That was the whole door. These are the steps. That was the bottom step right there. That was the bottom of the door frame. And that was the thing that held the door. Yeah, I mean, that whole front is done, gone.